Little bit of context for this call. Prospect no-showed me 2 times. Third call that we book, shows up, driving, cannot pull over, and 1 minute in, I'm like, fuck this, like, I'm gonna sell you. Now we're deep into discovery. First 20 minutes, just build problem, understood where he's at, where he wants to go, his goals, all that good jazz. And then I had to educate him for literally 5-7 minutes of back and forth, educate him at a high level, the industry and different paths he could take and why one was better than the other for him personally. And of course that path matched what I was selling him, okay? Because this guy also had no idea about the influencer, about the offer, about the big idea of what we do. Neither had any real clue of what he was doing. So like very early stage evaluation options. Sort of like I'm jumping on because like the guy in the DMs told me, yeah, let's connect. I can help you. I'll just give you some sauce, all that jazz. BS, right? Cool. So now I just went through this whole evaluation of options spiel, right? Where I got him to understand why this is the superior path for him to take. And indirectly, I'm sending him on the offer, right? Which is going to be the solution that matches that path, right? I got him to buy into that idea. After he finishes that, now he goes, there's a lot of reframing, a lot of belief shift, a lot of stuff that happens on this call, which is fun, okay? And so yeah, now I finished the spiel and he goes, yeah, what, cool, awesome, man. Like what book would you recommend for me to study this? All right? And now, well, what's your call and see how it goes.
What book or books would you recommend that I should read?
What does it tell you? So just went through that and he's like, so what book would you recommend that I should read? Right? Which like a very low level sales rep would just answer it maybe. But one always has to hear what is behind the words, what is coming through the language and through what is being said, what is going on in his mind, right? A person is asking you, this guy is asking me, what book would you recommend me? If I tell him now the book, his mind is going to be like, oh yeah, I will study this book and I will read this book. He's kind of like still, it tells me that this person is in the research, study, I want to learn, I want to consume mode instead of I want to take action, I want to make a change mode, which is very different, you know? Very, very different. So now I look at him and I'm like, what book? And then I go for the reframe, right? So I don't address I go for changing what is behind the word and what is going through his mind.
Yeah, to learn, like to get my baseline knowledge that would help me get this internalized and become building the skills. Like, what would you recommend?
What if I told you it wasn't what you thought it was?
I would believe that. Like, it could
Really?
be anything.
Because what if I told you that it's less about having a book to internalize it more and more about you actually start doing this and getting proper expert guidance? So you have somebody that watches over your shoulder and gives you the strategy and gives you the step by step, and then you implement it. Because really, where do you learn more? By, I don't know, reading something, reading a book, or like watching a movie on it, or like studying, or do you learn more about real estate when you're actually in the trenches, in the day-to-day, like you're actually acting on it? But on top of
Those
that,
execution.
aha, a lot of things that happen there though, right? So first, the opening is like, what if I told you it wasn't what you thought it was? Which is a sort of like confusion, right? It's like, wait, what? It's confusing language, right? Confusion creates a space. It kind of disarms the critical faculty of the brain, and it gets it to in a state of suggestibility. Okay, so what if I told you it wasn't what you thought it was? What if I told you that it's less about, and now it's an NLP pattern, right? Sleight of mouth. It's less about X and more about Y. What if I told you it wasn't what you thought it was? What if I told you that it's less about reading a book and more about X, Y, and Z? Okay, which is an easy pattern, language pattern, to shift focus from one thing to another thing, right? And then I'm like, it's more about having expert guidance and actually taking action And then I related to him. This guy was a real estate agent. He was doing like $300,000 a year, something like that, whatever. I wanted to start his own coaching business and crush it that way, whatever the fuck. And then I'm like, for example, in real estate, where do you learn more? Reading books about real estate, or do you learn more by actually being in the trenches and then maybe having somebody that has done what you want to do, helping you out? And he's like, no, yeah, execution. That's what he says. So he buys into that, right?
The question is like, how much longer do you want to stay in the kind of research, like look around and like make the time phase?
Until I'm ready for my next venture to invest into.
All right, and then I'm like, and then I close the loop, and I'm like, okay, so how much longer do you want to stay in that research mode? And then he's like, oh yeah, I'll stay here until I'm ready. The fuck does that mean?
Pay for some kind
what
of
is readiness,
mentorship.
though?
What is readiness? What does that mean? Let's define it.
Financial readiness, where I'm like, okay, I get the
Financial
part of
readiness
it.
aside, though, like that's one part. That's that aside, because like that, maybe there's ways, maybe there's not ways. I don't know, but like financial readiness also comes, right? When one is ready mentally.
Yeah, right. He said like financial readiness. So I was like, no, like financial readiness aside.
Readiness is really not a feeling, because like what comes first? Is it the feeling of readiness, or is it the action of readiness?
All execution.
So again, reframing it, right? Oh, I'm gonna do this until I'm ready. I was like, okay, what is readiness though? No, like aside from financial readiness, like the readiness itself, like, because like is what comes first, the action of readiness or the feeling of readiness? Oh no, I mean the action readiness, the execution of it. Aha. So again, look at a pattern, right? He's saying, and this was not the first time, he's saying again and again in this call, is like, oh yeah, execution, all about execution, all that stuff. Now, we kind of like turn the intensity up a little bit, okay?
So how long has it been that you've had disability?
I'm just getting barely back to stability. I had a lot of financial issues this year. I got robbed. I had some fraud. It was crazy. So that really hurt me. That was the beginning of the year. So
Fair enough.
I'm still getting out of that, and I need to pay off debts, reduce my overhead.
So like now he's telling me all these reasons that all sound rational, by the way, right? Like they all sound fair. It's like, oh man, I got robbed, I had this, I had that. So now I'm getting myself this, and that. And he's telling himself a story of a narrative of why he should not do this today and why it's not the time to take action and actually commit to making a change. So that's his frame, that's his narrative. Of course, that's a narrative that does not align with him making a buying decision and most importantly a change, right, in his life. So what do we want to do? Is changing the frame. Is I want to get him to buy into a different story, a different narrative, a different meaning of what happened and what is going on, which is also truthful, by the way, right? Because all of these reasons, he's rationalizing all the reasons why it's okay for him to like not be great or not do great or not do the best that he can. And whatever you look for, you find, right? So now he's saying all that, 90% of reps most likely would just buy into that and be like, oh fuck, yeah, this guy's not ready, oh fuck, yeah, ciao, next guy, oh fuck, right? Instead, cut through all the BS and go for the throat, right? And like, don't buy into the story, which is like the main part, is not buying into his frame, not buying into the story of why you should not do this.
Become profitable, save up 6 months of reserves, where I can feel at peace.
Can I say something
really
without you getting upset?
Right, first, interject. Can I say something without you getting upset? So I'm stopping the train of thought. Interject, right? Because he's setting himself out of it. I'm like, can I say something without you getting upset here? That's permission to say something difficult, right? Say something uncomfortable. And if he agrees to that, if he gives me permission, then now I can drop a bomb without resistance, without reluctance. And reluctance in psychology, it diminishes the influence you have, because it diminishes how much the other person is agreeing with whatever is being communicated, right?
Yeah.
What does a 100K a month entrepreneur do? Do you feel like a 100K a month entrepreneur, like if you picture the version of yourself that's doing 100K a month, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel the 100K a month entrepreneurs, they like, when they know they need to do something, and like they have a business, are they like putting it off for like months or like waiting on things to get more stable? Or do they make the decision to make things stable and to even put half an hour a day or a few hours on a weekend to actually start moving in the direction that they want? And they just make decisions, they just bite the bullet. What do they do? Be real.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they don't procrastinate.
So I'm like, be real, man. This guy's goal was making 100K a month as a coach, all that jazz. I was like, okay. Like the guys who were making, the entrepreneurs were making 100K a month. Do you feel like they wait for things to get more stable and get better and for this to align, for all the ducks to be in a row? Or do they make the decision to make things stable and to find the time, and they find it 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, a couple hours in the weekend, doesn't matter. But they made the decision and they bite the bullet and they move forward. What do they do? Be real. And he's like, oh no, yeah. And notice the tonality too of his response. His response is like, oh yeah, no, they just bite the bullet, they just execute. Oh yeah, of course, no, they execute, right? With a smile, as if he's like, I know this thing, right? And notice how that will change very, very shortly.
So what do they do?
Execute. Yeah. Immediately.
Execute immediately. And now watch. Watch, this is the big sort of reframe and complete change of the dynamic.
Execute. Yeah. Immediately.
Yeah. You said it a lot of times, right? Like, did you notice it? You said a lot of times about execution, action, executing immediately, right? Question is, are you going to take your own advice?
You're good.
It's not being good, man. It's not. Just want to help. And we can.
Silence. So what just happened? I'm like, yeah, so he said, those people, they execute. Like, He's like, yeah, they execute immediately. Like, Did you notice it? Did you notice how many times during the call you said that it's all about execution, acting, committing, biting a bullet? The question is, are you going to take your own advice? Just like drop of truth, right? Like it's a real mirror that you are pointing, reflecting to him. That's truthful. And then his reaction is, fuck man, you're good. And I'm like, it's not about me being good. Just want to help because we can. And then silence. Now this is super funny because now for the next literal 2 minutes, I think, there is not a word being spoken. Like he just drops, and I wish the recording caught it, but he's just like driving, and I could see from his camera, he's just like driving and like looking at dead space and not saying a word. And I could tell that like that moment I'm like, quote unquote, I got in his mind. Like that moment is where like, now it hit. Now it landed home. Now the frame changed. The narrative changed and he's seeing a different story. If that makes sense. Now, how many closers in this moment would speak, ask another question, or simply they would not be comfortable to sit in silence and stare dead in the eye at this person who's having a big realization for his life? I wouldn't say many. I can't say many would have the stillness and the comfortability in themselves to just sit there. But it did. I was sitting there and I looked at him, I was looking at him for 2.5 minutes without saying a word. And this is good because it's gravity, right? You're letting it sit, you're letting it, the seriousness and the density of the topic really sink. Now, after I'll play this out for 2 minutes to speed. Just my face, me looking at the guy.
Are you going to take your own advice?
Now watch. Here it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna execute. Yeah, I need to execute.
Notice the change in tonality. Before that, he was like, "Oh yeah, it's all about execution, you know. Yeah, executing immediately, you know." And now he's like, "Yeah, no, I need to execute. I need to change." Different tonality, isn't it? Still, I sit in silence. I don't say a word. Super funny.
Are you sure?
So what's the investment? What is that?
Now, what does he do?
It's often the investment because I don't really care if you like do it with us or do it with somebody else.
Right? He just turns it back on me. He's like, "So what's the investment? How much does it cost?" He had no idea what to offer. Nothing. He's like, "So how much does it cost? How much? What's the investment?" But now we just got in his head. We just got in the game. Not the moment to talk about the investment, obviously, or present, right? So I disarm it.
Yeah. It's often the investment because I don't really care if you like do it with us or do it with somebody else. There's like you taking your advice. You say you need to execute. If you don't answer this properly, I won't believe you. Why? Why now?
Slaps on slaps. So what's the investment? And how many sales reps I can see that with that question they would be like, "Oh, panicky." I'm like, "Yeah, aside from the investment, because I don't care if you do it with us or you do it with somebody else. It's less about that. It's more about you making a decision to draw a line in the sand and make a change. Complete disarmament. Because it also is true. Like, I don't care if I'm detached. Like, if he actually closes with us or he does something else, I don't care. Like, I'm actually in the moment. I'm there to help the person to make a decision and change his paradigm and his pattern, which has been holding him back, right? And then I go, it's less about that, it's more about you drawing a line of sand and making a decision. And then I go, if you don't answer this properly, I won't believe you, which is quite funny. If you don't answer this properly, I won't believe you. Why now? Make a change. So now we got him in the got him to be like, I need to execute. And now let's start it in. Why now though? Why now in this moment? Can tell also the level of detachment by like, if you don't answer this properly, I won't believe you. Like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Like, the call is done. Like, the call is done 5 minutes ago. From this point, it's a wrap. Like, it's finished. Like, the call, it's 7 minutes ago, like I made the sale. There's still things that need to happen to have the best likelihood of closing, but the real shift and him now being and acting and being a buyer happened. Now he's a buyer. Now he's in state. Now it's a matter of like really condensing that state and making sure it sticks, right? And closing all doors of possible wiggle room for not doing it, right? Getting him to a point where it's like, yeah, this is the only thing you can do pretty much. Or the best thing, not the only thing. Because all this is to open up choices, right? If you think about it beforehand, he was like, I'm not ready because I'm waiting for this is what happened in the past. Now he's like, no, I need to execute. Yeah, that's true. So now he has more choices. He has a heightened level of agency over his life. And I want to lead him and help him to making the best choice for him, which in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, if they're on a call, most likely it's because hopefully you sell something that's good, obviously. But if you sell something that's good, like your solution is aligned with them making the best decision for themselves, right?
The truth of the matter is, it's time to stop getting ready to get ready. It's been too long of having this thought. Is it a dream or is it actually planned? I can't be a procrastinator. If I really want these goals, I gotta be really look in the mirror. Am I capable, and am I actually the person that I say like I am capable of
Are
being,
you?
or am I just lying to myself?
Can you
Right?
be?
Different type of conversation now, huh? I gotta look myself in the mirror, I gotta be truthful with myself. Gotta stop procrastinating. Ha, fuck yeah. Different. Different than all the jazz they were saying before.
Of course. But it's getting out of my own way.
Yeah. What does he need to let go of to get out of your way?
You see the smoothness? Like, and then he says, the thing is, I gotta get out of my own way. I latch onto that. I'm like, what do you need to let go of to get out of your own way? Very good question. I've asked so many times, like, what do you feel like you need to let go of? Right? Also, like, if you look at the type of language, is very kinesthetic, I think it's called, where it's like physical. It's kind of like grasping, you get it. What do you need to let go of? It's kind of like, it's effective communication. It's an effective way to communicate. And for him to be like, what do I need to let go? And when he identifies it and he drops it, it's literally like that idea or whatever, let's say it's fear. What do you feel like you need to let go of? Fear. When? Now. Like that in itself will get into literally like the fear to kind of like a little bit disappear. It's even like therapy stuff, like even like CBT, like cognitive behavioral therapy. Like there's even stuff that you do there to like change, rewire thinking, behavior patterns, all this good stuff, right? So very, very deep stuff. Either way, like it's not random. It's not a random question. So like, what do you feel like you need to let go of to get out of your own way? And I latch on to exactly the word that he just said. So it's smooth. It doesn't feel like a fucking script or anything like that. Right? Because it just latched on to whatever he just said right now in the moment.
The doubt. But I don't know if it's doubt. Belief. I don't know.
Boom, right? So what do you feel like you need to let go of? The doubt. It's like, aha, now we're at the fucking root of it, right?
Which is normal, right?
Normalizing it, which is normal.
The question, the real question is like, and look at this accurately. And I appreciate the honesty and truthfulness from your side, bro. It says a lot. Says a lot, Brandon.
Good, right? So appreciating the right behavior, because he's opening up now. He's being very open and vulnerable and truthful with me, right? So I'm like, hey, like I'm looking at that in the eyes. I'm like, I appreciate you for opening up right now and being willing to look at this accurately and truthfully. I appreciate you for being that guy. And now consequence. And now hard question. Hard question. But if you think about it, it's like I just appreciated you for being open and truthful and looking at things accurately. And then I ask you a consequence question. You just got to appreciate it for the behavior that I'm reinforcing. Like I'm reinforcing the behavior that I want to see more, right?
What happens if you hold on to the doubt, though? Like, actually.
And then consequence, right? Now, the real question is, I appreciate you for XYZ. Real question is what happens if you hold on to the doubt? Like actually. Also, this not random at all. Consequence question, right? You probably have heard it if you're not living under a rock, right? And you're a sales rep and you made it this far in the video, you probably definitely know. Consequence question of what happens if you don't? Standard. What happens if you hold on to the doubt? So fucking good because it's number one, I'm consequencing off of a behavior. I'm consequencing off of a belief, the belief that is holding him back. Think about it. And now we unpack that behind this all, behind all of his externalization and all this jazz, procrastination was a doubt. So if he keeps the doubt, what happens when I ask for $12,000? If he's doubtful, he's not going to do it, obviously, right? So we gotta eliminate the doubt. So consequence. What happens? That's the doubt is now the catalyst to him. It's not also about him buying. It's about like for him, the frame here is like the doubt is the catalyst for him to actually become the guy who makes 100K a year with his coaching business, or 100K a month with his coaching business, or whatever the fuck, right? But actually accomplishes his goals. So now I'm like consequencing it. I'm like, so what happens if you hold on to the doubt? So the doubt is the catalyst is the leverage point, is the fulcrum, yes, to change behavior. And then what happens if you hold on to it? Hold on is, again, same as let go of, is kinesthetic, right? It has a, like, the language can be either visual, what have you been seeing, what does it look like, it's like visual, can be audible, like what did you hear, what alarms go off, like whatever, right? That's all like sort of audible languaging. And then there is the kinesthetic, which is like touches, like get, let go, hold on. So again, it is a very powerful, it's a very powerful way to communicate with the subconscious or, with the subconscious mind. It's a very direct way of communicating with the mind in the way that the mind gets it, yes? So what happens if you hold on to the doubt though? Actually pattern interrupt. So what happens if you actually hold on to the doubt though? Like, it's kind of like, look at it really.
Well, that turns down later down the road to regret.
Is that a
Or not
life
doing
worth
something.
living for?
No, that's it's not what it's not why I do what I do. Say it all the time. You live life to not have any regrets when I'm on my deathbed.
There we go.
What if I did that? What
There we
if I
go.
decide?
Right? So now, consequence is like, yeah, that later turns down to regret. It's like, okay. Could have even went deeper, to be fair. Didn't go that deep. I was just like, I think I'm like at a point where we're deep in the discovery. It's been so long. And I'm like, we're good. So I'm like, yeah, is that a life worth living for? No, it's not. Okay. And then now I future pace upwards a little bit on like, what happens when you do, right? And I turn them up a little bit in state. I'm like, so is it, because man, like, look at it. Is it possible to have a coaching business and be successful with it? Yeah. Do you feel like you can like put all the procrastinating, like all that to the side, but even like the skill set to the side, that's obviously why you're here. Like, do you feel internally capable of doing it? Yeah. Okay, so like if it's possible, you feel like you're capable, you have the capability inside of yourself. If you had a step-by-step process, somebody helping you out every step of the way, like any reason you won't achieve the outcome? No, right. And what happens when you do? Like when you actually have a coaching business, you look back to now, knowing that knowing that you've made a great decision and you like drawn a line in the sand, made the change, and now you're making 20, 30K a month with your coaching business. Looking yourself in the mirror straight in the eye, like, how's that? Or whatever, right? But just like a little bit of getting up in state too, because like you don't want people to be like, you don't want to beat down people, right? You want to get in an empowered state. You want to get, yes, I want you to feel the pain, the problem of current, but I want you to have hope. I don't want somebody to be hopeless and be like, oh, fuck, I'm this, fear, doubt, all this shit. This is why I've not done it, it's my fault, and I'm like this failure. It's like, no, that's definitely not the fucking state I want to put people in. I want to put people in a state where it's like they're the most empowered. They look at reality truthfully and accurately. At the same time, they have hope for the future and hope for the better. And they know they have the belief in themselves that they can do it. And then, of course, the process, the product, and all that jazz. And then step into presentation, present, easy. Then there's a lot of financing, logistics, but still. So yes, that's it for the call. Very interesting though, because we reviewed like a 10-minute segment of this specific call. A lot, as you can see, to unpack, and a lot that happens like every 10 seconds, every 20 seconds, and there's nothing there that is random. And of course, like I'm not thinking about this as I'm doing it. As I'm doing it, it's just like second nature, right? But it's all learned from experience and study, exposure, and a lot of pattern recognition, right? But nothing is random. So, there we go.